Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Coffee at Mine with Emma. Today we are on letter F of our journey through the A to Z of Christmas, and the S stands for shepherds. And the scripture reading is Luke chapter 2, verses 8 to 9, and it says, "And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night." God chose these shepherds who were just out on the field doing what they did, watching over their sheep. But these weren't just any normal sheep. These were sacrificial lambs. These were the lambs that, if you remember yesterday, I touched on the whole redemption thing and how God came to redeem us from the law, the Old Testament law. Now, these lambs were set apart. So these lambs are really special. And these shepherds that heard this news were pretty awesome guys and girls, maybe. And they were out, they were protecting these lambs from bears, from wolves, from lions, whatever they were around in those days. And you see, God chose these very, very ordinary guys, just like Mary and Joseph were pretty ordinary people, to hear this good news. And actually, they would be the people that we would normally maybe overlook because of them being shepherds. But the question I would want to ask is, why did God choose the shepherds to make that first announcement? What was it that was so special about them? You see, as we've touched on throughout this blog, is the fact that God knew what he was doing when he decided he was going to show up on earth as a baby. He knew exactly what he was doing. It was all part of the plan. He had a blueprint of what it was going to look like and how it was all going to show up. And he also knew that he was going to reveal himself in the most ordinary, spectacular, miraculous way that people would grasp. First of all, God's humanness, but also his godliness. And it just astounds me that God used ordinary people like Mary and Joseph, like the shepherds, to appear in human form. I wonder this Christmas, do you feel overlooked? Do you feel ordinary? Do you feel insignificant? Because this Christmas, I want to remind you just how spectacular you are, how awesome you are. In Psalm 139, we read that God saw our unformed bodies before they were even conceived. Before egg and sperm became one, God saw our unformed substance before we were even created in our mother's womb. He knew how many hairs we were going to have on our heads, or lack of hairs in some cases. He knew our idiosyncrasies. He knew everything about us before we were even formed and fashioned. There is nowhere that you can go that is outside of God's plan and purpose. And that is pretty amazing. So even though you may feel ordinary, even though you may feel overlooked, these shepherds felt very ordinary and overlooked, yet God chose them to appear in angelic form and to announce the arrival of Jesus. Take that today into your day, that God chose the ordinary things to reveal himself. And he wants to reveal himself to you. Join me tomorrow as we go a little bit deeper into this, because there is so much more that I want to share. So join me tomorrow as we begin to wrap up this whole journey through the A to Z of Christmas. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.